Okay, we need to talk about this. So take a deep breath. I'm sure you've seen the title and the thumbnail of this video, and I've got a bit of a story to tell around it when it comes to the capture event. Now, if you've watched my channel over the past few years, maybe even longer, you will know that I go out of my way to make sure that I create a championship. I like to check out the championships that are available and the relief and the materials on offer. Now, as part of that, I was even more invested this year because me and my brother had agreed that we would revamp all our championships for our universe mode in 2K20. That was the plan. And the championship that you see in the thumbnail is a television championship that we had created in 2K19, which we were going to port over the template for 2K20. So that is a custom championship that we had designed for this year's game. So, as you can tell, this was something I was keen to check out at the capture event. So I sat down, I head over to creations, and I see superstar, I see moveset, I see entrance, I see show, I see arena, I see video, thank God, I see victory, I see money in the bank, and I see custom matches. But I don't see create a championship. So I'm thinking maybe it's fallen under another section of the game. Maybe it's just been misplaced in this dev version. So I looked around, I couldn't find it. I looked in money in the bank just in case it fell in there. It wasn't there. And I'm thinking, it's not in. And the truth is, Create a Championship is not in WWE 2K20. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Now, many of you will ask me the question, or maybe say, well, this is just a dev version. It might make the final cut of the game. Well, I thought the same. I thought potentially we've had years where we had create a video missing the cutscenes, and 2K patched it in on a day one patch. So I thought maybe something like that had happened. So I wanted clarity on this. I didn't want to go and make a video and then find out that it was indeed in the final version of the game and just not on the dev version that we were playing. So I decided to ask a dev, and I said, is Create a Championship in this year? I can't quite find it because devs were walking around at this event answering questions, and I thought this was a very important one. And he confirmed that unfortunately Create a Championship was something they couldn't get in this year. Now, my initial response to this was, really? I couldn't quite believe it. I was in shock. And then I went silent because I didn't know what to say. And I started thinking about our universe where we use all custom championships. I started thinking about the television championship that we were planning to use. All now becoming useless. We can't use any of that anymore. We have to use in-game championships. Then I started thinking about the community and those that had already prepped their templates for this year's game, using the forums, using the Reddits. They can't use those anymore. Then I started thinking about people creating their own universe modes and going with other brands outside of WWE. They can have the superstars, they can have the arenas, but they can't have championships. So if you're doing an AEW universe mode, I'm sure that would have been a popular one. You'll have to do it without the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. It's not going to be there because no one can create it. I thought a lot. This was a big issue. So we told them that. I was sitting with a few other YouTubers, fellow creators, and we said, look, this is going to be a big talking point within the community, and it is going to be something that the fans of this game are going to be disappointed with. I was disappointed with this, and they agreed and they shared the disappointment, but the dev was adamant that this is something that they couldn't get in to a working order for this year's game. It had to be one that was sacrificed. And if you actually check out Denkops, Chris Denker, and you saw his interview with Lionel Jinx and Mark Little, they talked about the Creation Suite and how much of a beast that section of the game is, and it sounded like it took a lot of work to get it in good order. Now, with them saying that, it does appear that there were issues there, and one of the casualties of that was Creator Championship. But we didn't know that as part of that interview. We know that now. I kind of wish that they just said it in that interview, held their hands up and said, look, this is not in this year because of the changes between Yux and Visual Concepts. And we did say that as well. It might be worth potentially making an announcement just to let the fans know. I think if they did that, although it's not great to hear, the community would appreciate the honesty instead of it coming out this way. So, look, I didn't want to sugarcoat this, like I've said before. I didn't want to brush it under the carpet. I didn't want to hide it in another video. I'm not like that because I feel this is important. You know, we have to look at the positives and the negatives, and this just so happens to be one of the negatives. There are some cool aspects in this year's game, but it is disappointing that Creator Championship will not make its return this year because I share the frustration. We use this a lot. You guys use it a lot. It's part of the package when building your own universe mode. It goes hand in hand with superstars, arenas. Championships are part of that package, and you don't have it this year. So it's probably not worth me asking you what you guys think, because I'm sure you think the same as I did when I first found out. I mean, maybe as I, initially thought, there will be a backlash to this, but maybe if there is enough of one, it might get patched in, because I did mention earlier that we had the debacle when cutscenes weren't in the game, and 2K managed to patch it in on day one. Maybe, but that's just a maybe, and there's nothing factual about a maybe. And I'm hitting you with stone cold facts that at the UK event, when I asked the developer, where is Creator Championship, he told me it was not in this year. And that's all I can go with, what I've been told. So I'm not going to dwell on this any longer. It is what it is, and we must move forward. And I do feel your pain, but it is a negative aspect of the game, but there are positives, and we will talk about those in future videos. We've got plenty of them coming your way on the channel, but I felt you needed to know, and it needed to be treated with the respect that you guys deserve, to talk about it separately and not just sweep it under the carpet. So we've done that now, and let's move on and let's crack on with the good stuff, and also start thinking about how we move past this and still create the best content we possibly can and get the most out of this year's game. But for now, I'll see you later.